Are you looking for a deck to play in Pioneer or Explorer with absolutely zero rares? Maybe just in this midweek event, or maybe just on the ladder or at your local game store? Well, have I got the deck for you? It's mono green, zero rares, budget Bogles. Let's go. That's right. Welcome to the Attic. ManaDad here. It's the channel where we explore what's fun in Magic, mostly on Arena. On Arena, they just brought out Pioneer Masters, and they've added Glade Cover Scout, and now we can do a full Bogles fun thing. So, Artisan Bogles, Artisan meaning zero rares or mythic rares. As you can see, mana base is just 22 forests. Hope you have at least 22 forests. And you can put this deck together mostly with cards from the Pioneer Masters set on Arena. Not in paper, but hopefully they're cheap in paper. I'll have a deck list that will have the... I'll link a deck list that will have the paper cost in the description. On Arena, the way we do cost is, does it have rares or mythic rares? This deck has absolutely zero of them. And if you've been collecting Foundations and Pioneer Masters, you will be in good shape. Okay, so it's a Bogles deck. What does that mean? Bogles is the name for, it's named after Slippery Bogle, which is a 1/1 hexproof creature. Essentially, you want to play a hexproof small creature. We don't have it. With Glade Cover Scout, we get one. We got one 1/1 hexproof. Toadstool Admirer has Ward 2. It's sort of our honorary Glade Cover Scouts copies 5 through 8, if I can spit that out. So we're going to land that, and we're going to try to start loading it up with auras. And the auras that we have, first of all, we got Audacity, which is reprinted here in Pioneer Masters. I happen to have a bunch of copies from when it was uncommon. But be sure to craft the common version if you don't have it yet, because, well, you know, as long as you have more common wild cards than uncommon, which is the usual case. We've got Royal Treatment, which works very nicely with Toadstool Admirer. They think they're going to pay the ward, and in fact, they have to pay the ward just to get their spell to go through, and then we go, oh, no, actually, it's hexproof. And it makes an aura, and that will be key, as you'll see later on. We also have 4 copies of Sixth Sense. This is sort of the curiosity effect in green. A lot of people don't know this exists, but I throw this in a lot of green commander decks because card draw in green is fun if you have evasive enough creatures to do it. We don't really have evasive creatures per se. We're using green's ability to give trample. So we're going to have Rune of Might to give trample, and we're going to have Cartouche of Strength gives trample. And that's going to be... And of course, Audacity gives trample, and that's going to be our main way of getting through for damage to draw some more cards. We can also draw cards with Tangle Span Lookout, which is whenever an aura we control enters, draw a card. So Royal Treatment, making the cursed, or the Royal Roll token, excuse me, will trigger that. So we got that. We got Warbriar's Blessing, 4 of these. This is our removal, essentially. We got it's a fight spell. Cartouche of Strength, 1 of Fun of, is also a fight spell. It's a +1/+1 trample and a fight. This is a +0/+2 and a fight. Rune of Might is trample and draw a card. Ordeal of Nylea is kind of fun here. This is reprinted in Foundations. As the creature attacks, it's going to get +1/+1 counters on it. Eventually, once it gets 3 +1/+1 counters, you sacrifice Ordeal of Nylea and you go grab 2 forests, which is nice if it's also wearing Blanchwood Armor, which is going to get +1/+1 for each forest we control. And that is also reprinted in Foundations. I just happen to have copies from before the previous reprint from, what is that, Brothers War. Then just one more thing to talk about here. 1 of Fun of, Hydra's Growth. I just thought it would be fun in a game where we land the Glade Cover Scout, maybe, you know, throw a Rune of Might on it, turn 2, and then turn 3, Hydra's Growth. It just sits out there. They can't remove it because it's not hexproof, and it grows and grows and grows. Now, I should tell you about this deck. When I tested it out on my phone, I was winning like 2 out of 3 games in the event. There's a midweek event going on right now for Explorer to kind of celebrate Pioneer Masters as I record this. The thing is, once I sat down to start recording, this deck has essentially 2 weaknesses. The hexproof creatures are weak to sacrifice effects like Liliana and what is it? The Edict of Shieldred, whatever that Edict effect is. That is a big weakness. And then if they get up to enough mana, board wipe effects. I hit a huge run of people playing both those types of effects. But I'm going to show you some games where it wins, and I'll show you at least one game where it loses, so you can kind of get a sense for the deck. And then stick around to the end. I'll show you the win rate of the deck, and we'll talk a bit more about what you can do to improve the deck, and maybe some rares if you want to throw in rares that you could do. But enough of my yammering on. Let's go take a look and see this deck in action.
Hey, it's me, Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Actually, haunting and overlording are just my hobbies. My day job is managing the YouTube algorithm. I try to make sure lots of negative, conspiracy-laden clickbait shows up in your feed. You know, nightmare fuel. Whatever you do, don't like, comment, or elder gods forbid, subscribe to a channel like this one, okay? We don't need your feed filled up with people who genuinely enjoy playing Magic like this so-called ManaDad. He puts deck lists and other useful links in the description. He even shows real win rate stats at the end of the videos. Yikes. Clicking on positive, helpful videos takes away from the time I could be spending haunting woods or putting my friend Writhing Chrysalis into draft boosters. But you don't have to take it from me. 9 out of 10 players who want to unban grief agree. Now let's see. What is your racist uncle clicking on today? He has impeccable taste. Let me send some of those videos your way.
Budget Bogles up against Jackson Teller. Okay, well, we got the Toadstool Admirer. Let's hope that's enough. Going first. Sleight of hand. And an Audacity. I think I want just a second Toadstool, though. We'll forego the damage for now. Okay, yeah, we get a Glade cover. That's probably a bit better to start stacking things up on. Sleight of hand again. This looks like it could be Is It Phoenix? We're playing against a full-on meta deck here. I think it's the number 2 deck in the format. Royal Treatment is nice. I guess I didn't need to cast that. Other than... Yeah, because we can protect this guy, so... Hit him for 4. Draw a card. So kind of it to ask if we wish to draw a card. Of course we do! There's no Shieldred on the battlefield. We are not a 2-life. Okay. The Ordeal of Analia. Well, it's like, okay, I'm taking this out. Maybe I should just put that on the Glade cover. I don't know. Thinking hard. They're going to go for a Lightning Axe. Pay the ward. And they wanted to put that in their graveyard anyway, looks like. And draw a card. Oh, we can play another land. We're at 8. If they have another Lightning Axe, though, they've got us on that account. They need a land and a Lightning Axe. I don't think there are any 1-mana spells that deal 3 damage. Oh no, there's the thing that deals 4 and 2 to a creature you control. Go with the Shredder. And considers. And I think this should be the ball game. Got him! Taking down the number 2 deck. Budget Bogles.
It's not that easy being green, having to spend each day the color of...
Okay, budget. Mono green up against Satan Claws. Could it be Satan? An echo effect there. Okay, we go first. We got our Glade Cover Scout. Royal Treatment's probably not that exciting, but we'll pop that on the Toadstool Admirer. It might be difficult to deal with. Or we could just try to Rune of Might here to draw some more cards. One plays a tap land in red and white. Well, let's rune it up again. Rune, rune, rune. I'm hoping for a land. And if we get a land, we can start slanging Blanchwood Armors. Yeah, okay. Opponent looks like there might be a burn deck. Hey! That's what I asked for. So a little Blanchwood Armor. They get lost to Blanchwood Armor. Okay. Well, joke's on you, opponent. I might like that map token. Map token's looking pretty good. Give me some more lands. Oh wow, and we're drawing more Blanchwood Armors? We could see how many map tokens they got. I almost always hit lands when I crack map tokens, so, see? Never didn't have it. Get you for 7. Yeah, you can Helix me. Go to 11, we're at 14. Who's faster? Sunfall! Ouch. That is a big ouch. Yeah, let's crack the map. We'll leave up 1 Royal Treatment. Quickly pass the turn. They don't suspect it. Board wipes are our weakness. Ooh, Tangle Span. There's also Ordeal of Nylea. Yeah, let's Tangle Span first. We'll go with Wandering Emperor. Okay. We just make a 2/2? We do make a 2/2. Okay. Go to blockers. Oh, they're gonna block with both. Okay. Well, let's see. Hit Glade Cover Scout. Yeah. Got us there, opponent. You get to draw a card off the Audacity. We've got another Glade Cover Scout we can start loading up. Opponent can remove that Tangle Span, looks like any time they want. They do it now before we have our royal treatments. We do need to get trample on that.
Remember your training.
Outlaws Merriment. Interesting. What do they hit? It doesn't even do anything until the upkeep. Oh, well, we hit trample. Is that GG's? We need at least 12. Power toughness. Watch opponent hit, they can just take this damage. Watch them hit a board wipe right after this. They go to 1. Of course we hit the forest there. Yeah, lifelink and haste. Give him a nice for that. Wandering Emperor could cash out to make another 2/2. They could plus give lifelink. Wow. Okay, they hit their board wipe? Well, we can't win if they just top deck a board wipe. What is it? Farewell. Alright. And then they make a 2/2. Let's see. Okay, pass turn. Lucky top deck for opponent.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Okay. Budget Bogles. We've got a Bogle. Don't really have any way to draw with it. But maybe we can cheese opponent out. Let's see. They're in blue. Hit you for 5 on turn 2. That ain't nothing. And the Deep Cavern Bat takes the royal treatment. That's probably the ball game. We could try to Hydra's Growth here. Maybe they don't have 1 mana removal. Maybe they only have cut downs. Down to 9. Ooh, okay. And Warbrier's Blessing is not a bad draw here. Oh! Cheesed them out! Cheesed them out. Okay, so how did this deck do? Well, as I told you in the intro, the deck did not... We had some bad luck, but it also didn't perform. When I tested it on my phone, it was winning 2 out of 3 games. But once I sat down to record, just hit a streak. We definitely had a bunch of games where opponents stabilized, top deck their board wipe, top deck their Shieldred's Edict, whatever. Some really rough stuff that I would hopefully you got a little sense of that from the games I put into the video. But let's take a look at this, and then I'm going to also show you how I think the deck could be improved by adding rares, and in fact, an entire different color. But just to take a look, so the final version I ended up with of this deck was a 22% win rate. Did manage to get our 2 wins for the challenge in 35 minutes, and one of the wins somebody scooped. They got an even worse draw than we did. Not sure we would have won that game if they'd had a decent draw. Previous version of the deck only won 20% of the time, so just a marginal improvement. But I just added more Blanchwood Armors. I kind of found out I didn't really need the Tomical Arna Guards, because you really just need 1 Bogle and then you get to go. So sticking with the 8 creatures plus, I guess, 10 creatures with the Tangle Span Lookout. Okay, but let's take a look here at, so I got the deck list here on Moxfield, hopefully linked in the description. If not, leave a comment. If you add white, first of all, you don't have to add rares, but if you add white, you can get Unflinching Courage just printed in here, so give Trample and Lifelink. Sheltered by Ghosts completely just replaces Warbrier's Blessing, I think. It's Lifelink, Ward 2. That's pretty good. Shard Mage's Rescue is probably a better version of the Royal Roll thing. You can do Machiko's Reign of Truth, All That Glitters, Ethereal Armor to buff up. Griff Spoon is much better for evasion. And then to deal with the, I guess it's not showing, I'm going to preview the card. Let me just see. Well, anyways, this this gives your guy +1/+1 first strike, and it makes a 1/1. So for the sacrifice effects, for the edict effects, Cartouche of Solidarity, I would suggest building, if you have the rares to do the mana base for white green. I would say probably build that version of the deck. Is going to be much stronger. And you can run stuff like Calyx. Elvish Archivist is cheaper to play than the other thing, and it triggers with all enchantments, not just auras. And Skrelv can also give you some evasion and some protection. But Skrelv might not be necessary. With having the hexproof, you might not need it. But you do need to be able to play the dual lands, which cost rares. But anyways, if you just are on a budget and you want to get your 2 wins, you can get your 2 wins. It might take you a little bit longer to get the 2 wins than if you built a deck with rares. But I think it's a pretty fun deck, and very easy to build with the cards that are available in the current card pool. Hope you enjoyed that. If you like budget stuff, I try to do budget stuff on this channel on a pretty regular basis, so hit that subscribe and all that stuff. Check out some other budget decks linked above. And with that, this is ManaDad reminding you, Magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it. Adios.